Happy Friday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. It's Friday again. It is Friday, and I am recording this much later in the day than I usually like to record because I had some technical difficulty with my printer this afternoon trying to print out postage, and I know you've all been there. You understand. It's the kind of the last thing you want to deal with on a Friday. But what can you do? I got there in the end, and that's all really that matters in the end. So we're all good. So before I get to today's Focus on a Designer, I wanted to briefly mention that just this morning I've been watching the hashtags and seeing the charity patterns coming out, and I've decided to join in with the Representation Matters Stitch Along and the Diversity and Inclusion Stitch Along. Those are hashtags on Instagram. You can follow along with those. You can jump in with a project of your own choosing, and I'm following in the footsteps of Nicole's needlework, and I am going to be stitching starting today, and I would like to stitch the Stone Street Martin Luther King sampler. So that's this chart right here, and I think it's a lovely chart. So you can find this chart for sale on Stone Street Stitchworks Etsy page. It is 50 cents. The 50 cents covers her costs, her Etsy fees, and the idea is that you will then donate $5 to a charity of your choice in recognition of stitching this chart. And I thought that was a really nice thing to do, to allow you to decide where your $5 is going. So I have decided to add $5 to my total donation for the Native Women's Association of Canada. So I will be adding $5 of my own to that total when I donate that money. So I did a very quick floss toss and fabric pull because this is all coming from stash, and by now you will know, of course, because I will have put it on the screen cap, the designer that I'd like to chat about today is Arlene Cohen of WorksByABC. And so I thought it was fitting that I found some fabric last year, and someone in the comments yesterday wanted more information on the retreat that I mentioned that happens in New Jersey. And so this is the retreat now that I am talking about. It is the Flosstube New Jersey retreat, and I do believe at this moment it is full and that there is a wait list even for next year, as far as I know, though some people may have canceled because of this year not happening. I don't know Arlene's numbers. However, you can join the Facebook group, the Flosstube New Jersey Retreat Facebook page, and all of the information can be found there. But I went to this retreat last year, and I have asked Arlene to hang on to my money for next year because I'm obviously hoping to go back next year. So at last year's retreat, we were given a wonderful goodie bag full of things that had been donated by various shops and designers, and it was really lovely. And so there were some fabric scraps from Needleworkers Delight, which was the local needlework shop in New Jersey that was very close to where we were at for the retreat, and the dyers for the Silk Weaver fabric are the owners of that shop. And so to the best of my knowledge, I think I have that relationship correct, and I believe that is where they do the dyeing of the fabric. And so I had received some samples in the goodie bag, but also I did end up then purchasing a few pieces of Silk Weaver fabric when I went and visited the shop as well. But I found a scrap that I think will work for the Martin Luther King chart. Now I know it's got a big, I have to iron this before I start. And it is going to be a little of a bit of a snug fit, but it will fit. This is a 40 count Newcastle linen, and the colorway is Country Mocha, and it's a Zweigart, and it is absolutely beautiful. Just a beautiful color. And so it's just a little sample size. The size on the chart on a 40 count, it says that the stitched size is 4 by 7 by 6 inches, and sorry, almost 7 inches. And this piece of fabric is just over 8 inches. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight, but I plan on finishing this into just a little pillow finish. So I really only need about ½ of an inch around the stitched design in order to turn it into a pillow finish. So I really don't need very much at all. I'm going to triple check my math before I start stitching it, but I think it'll work. And it'll use this really beautiful little piece of linen. So the colors I just pulled from my stash. It only takes 4 colors. And so I am using greens instead of the 2 shades of browns for the vine and the leaves. So I'm using Gentle Arts Deep Forest and a Dinky Dyes Dandenong. This was a gift from a number of years back. This skein of Dinky Dyes was a gift from Carrie, the creative curator, and I haven't touched it up until now. And so I just think that it's a special little sampler, and I'll be able to put a bit of special silk floss in there from Carrie. The 2 other colors that I've chosen, so the brown for the bird, this is Gentle Arts Acorn, and the red and the flowers, the red for the flowers and the bird is, now this you can tell is an old one. This is a Crescent Colors, Classic Colorworks bandana. This is one of my favorite colors. So clearly a number of years back I bought a whole pile of it, and I have a few skeins in my stash. So those are my 4 colors. I know lighting in here is never good, so you're not getting a clear idea. Maybe what I'll do, no, because today I wanted, never mind, it's not important. So I'm going to, there, ooh, that's not bad. That bandana is really coming through, isn't it? Pretty. So that's the Stone Street Stitchworks Martin Luther King sampler, and I will leave a link in the drop-down box below to her Etsy page if you wish to join in. Okay, so the host of the Flosstube New Jersey retreat, Arlene Cohen, her design business is called WorksByABC, and I believe it was a number of weeks back that Gail, my friend Gail Bello, sent me an email, and she had said, you know, because we were talking about focus on designer and the different designers that I liked, and some people had been emailing me suggestions. Well, she emailed me and said, have you checked out WorksByABC? And in fact, I already knew Arlene. I knew her quite well, and in fact, at last year's retreat, I purchased a few of her patterns. So I wanted to share a couple of my favorite ones with you. And I will leave a link to her website in the drop-down box below. So the first one that I chose is called Nonette Number 1. And I think you know, this is right up my alley. This is totally my style. I just think that that is so beautiful. And it's just so wide open to your own interpretation of color. You could just do 1, you could do a grouping of 6 in a different, you know, shaped frame. You could do a pin cushion, you could do a tiny, you know, 1/1 on 40 count. That would be like eeny beeny beanie. And you could make it into a scissor keep or something like that. That's why I really love these charts. I just think that they're just so fun. So it's just Really beautiful. Just gorgeous. So that was the first chart that I chose. The second chart that I chose was called 6 Pages from 1603. Whoops, sorry. And again, same situation. These motifs are so beautiful, and you could just do them, you could do it all in one color, you could do it with a variegated floss, you could do it in, you know, a gradation of color going from bright to muted, and I just think that they're wonderful. So these are just 2 of, you know, Arlene has so many wonderful patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to directly cut some images from her website to insert into the video here, so that you can get a nice up close look. And if you might, you know, feel like you wanted to head over and peruse her shop, then maybe this would inspire you to do so. But these are I've been hanging on to these, and I really would love to do a small, like a scissor fob, like a tiny, tiny, tiny scissor fob. I have some 46 count. Am I brave enough to do that? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so the other thing to tell you about Arlene Cohen, Works by ABC, it just so happens that tonight she is the guest on Fiber Talk. And so how serendipitous is that? So tonight, I believe it is 8 p.m. I don't know the time zone, but at 8 p.m. Arlene is the guest on Fiber Talk tonight with Gary and Vonna. So I will, tomorrow, I will try to look for that link and try to pop that link in the drop-down box below when I can find it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Arlene she's a warm, wonderful person, and her designs are beautiful. So I highly, if you tend to like a lot of the same things that I like, you'll love her charts. Promise. I'm not lying. I know you know it. Okay, so that is it for me today. It is late, and so by the time I get this video up, it will probably be, I don't know, maybe 6 o'clock. Hey, which is our typical Friday off the grid stitching party time. So this evening I plan on starting my Martin Luther King sampler. I also plan on doing a little bit of Savon tonight. I think maybe just some quiet, easy stitching after. The excitement of the new start will be great, and then I will switch over to Savon later in the evening, because I'm still feeling a little bit frazzled from the whole issue with the printer, but never mind. We've got dinner sorted out tonight. I don't have to worry about that. John's gonna pick up something made at the grocery store, and then easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's it. I hope you're well. Take care of yourselves. Happy stitching, and I'll see you tomorrow.